This is an overview of the colon specimen in Module 1 BioLucidity Lab study collection. So as I click on it and bring up the colon will give us an example of goblet cells, simple columnar epithelium, the loose connective tissue, smooth muscle, simple squamous epithelium. So I'll turn off the annotation. You can use that when you study. And the first thing we'll do is zoom in on the epithelium. Now, this epithelium, as you will learn a little later in the course, this is mucosa. It's the combination of loose connective tissue that with this highly cellular lying underneath epithelium. And this epithelium is composed of, in these pits here, because the epithelium is undulated or invaginated, or and those pits that are communicating with the lumen are lined with simple columnar epithelium. And in this case, in the colon, there are lots of cells that are full of mucus and provide the mucus that flows out into the lumen that lubricates the feces so that it can glide more easily in its path through the outside. So these are goblet cells. And perhaps this one here, where you can see the nucleus at the base and the shape. As you look around, you'll see better examples, but they're shaped like goblets. And if you remember in the lecture, and perhaps in the WebMic, you saw some examples of those. But over here is the loose connective tissue containing lymphocytes, macrophages, fibroblasts, and very delicate collagen fibers. And the very surface, you have to kind of look around because some of it's eroded. So I'm just going to look over here. This is perhaps a fairly good example, simple columnar epithelium that doesn't have goblet cells in it because these cells are absorbing water from the lumen of the intestine. And another example of the simple columnar epithelium. So in your study, you can just look around and move from one place to the other like this and find even better examples. So here's a good example where you have no goblet cells. These are absorptive cells, and these are just loaded with the goblet cells. You can see the loose connective tissue between, and then it merges down here, and there is some smooth muscle down here, and then a little bit more dense connective tissue here, dense irregular. And now this is a patch, actually a lymphatic nodule, where you've got more, lymphocytes being produced, and these are lymphoblasts in here, and then they're migrated. Now you don't need to know all of this for the first module quiz, but you do need to be able to recognize lymphocytes as little tiny round nuclei that do not show much cytoplasm. And of course here, these are very tiny blood vessels lined with simple squamous epithelial cells. And I think there are more blood vessels down here that we could see some examples of the simple columnar, simple squamous epithelial cells lining this blood vessel. And these are red blood cells. You can get an idea of their size by over here. They're, you just kind of put this on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, if you divide 7 into 50, it goes about 7 times. So that would be about 7.5 microns in diameter. Always keep in mind, the size of things, because we're looking at shape, size, location, context, and function. That's what histology is all about, recognizing patterns and then learning the details of those patterns, what makes those patterns look like they look. Like here, you see the basophilia. You would immediately suspect lots of nuclei crowded together. Okay, so I think that is all I'm going to say about this. Hopefully that'll give you a good orientation.